Well, you would expect Harare Sports Club every morning to have something in it, especially in the winter, and in particular a 9:30 start. It's not your normal 10 a.m. start that you get in your summer test matches in Zimbabwe. I'm wondering if it's got something to do with the ball. And maybe how the Bangladesh bowlers have looked after it. Because it was interesting listening this morning to the Zimbabwean seamer, Brad Evans. He spoke about how well they looked after the ball, the Zimbabwean fielding team, not just the bowlers. So I'm wondering if that may be the difference then between the two sides, and maybe why the ball is not swinging and didn't swing much yesterday for Bangladesh.
Well, he's the one who's actually showed once in a while the ball does something in his favor. Again, the little bit of shape. Yes, it was a wide delivery. He's lucky he didn't get any part of the bat on that delivery. Yeah, there you go. You can see the shape going away. And even the dismissal that he picked up an early wicket, was close to the bat. So he's the one who's started to show that, yes, if you bowl in the good areas and also good wrist positions and the releases from high up there, you might extract something out of the surfer, but it has not happened on a consistent basis. That has been the problem for Bangladesh. Yet the only wicket to fall so far is of Brendan Taylor. He was the bowler, Khalid Ahmed. Have a look at this delivery. Again, good shape. It moves away. What I'm thinking, if he can produce this kind of delivery, why it doesn't happen on a consistent basis?
The other point I wanted to bring up is, have the Bangladesh bowlers bowled full enough and consistently enough to allow the ball to move around? And I say that, I'll refer back to Zimbabwe yesterday. Ngaraba, the captain, Muzarabani, in their first spells, it was almost as if Zimbabwe made the wrong decision to bowl first, simply because they didn't bowl in the right areas. So that consistency is important, and we'll carry on with that conversation in the next over. 163 for 2. $163 for 2, Zimbabwe. Started the day on 136, so they've moved along quite nicely. The wicket to fall today, that of Brendan Taylor. It was a struggle for him at the crease. 54 balls it took for him to amass that 17. And it's Taijul Islam into the attack already. No. Nice figures. 10.1 overs, 19 runs. Don't show how well he bowled yesterday. He was consistent, got the ball to turn immediately when he came into the attack. He really was a handful for Brendan Taylor and Kaya to deal with late in the day yesterday.
He's been very impressive, the youngest of the three Kaya brothers to play first-class cricket in Zimbabwe. He's very good. Toiled hard in the domestic circuit for 8 years before getting a chance to play international cricket. And you mentioned about that last time there was on a tour that was against Bangladesh in the final, picked up 100. And he's been rock solid, very impressive. Not easy conditions, especially when you talk about the conditions. It gets a little bit more difficult for the batters, not only to survive. Oh, inside edge. Maybe the bat. Just about maybe the bat.
It could only have been the bat. I think it's a little inside edge here for Brian Bennett. No turn on this one. Goes straight on with the arm, and there you go. It's the inside edge that saved him. Some excitement already in Taijul Islam's first over. 164 for 2. Lead of 24 for Zimbabwe. Yeah, approaching that 100 milestone in just his third test match. Ibadat Hussain replaces Khalid Ahmed from the golf course end. Will he get some movement from the surface? Good start.
You're talking about good start. It was a good start for Taijul Islam today and even yesterday. 10 overs for none for 18. Sharp turn available on Damon, which is a big surprise for me. And he could have held on to this. It would have been a different story. That's how it goes. Again, sharp turn and bounce. Now that's one of the reasons why during that pre-show, if you remember, Tina Movayo, I did mention I would like to see him open the bowling. Maybe over from Khalid and then straight away from the other end. Taijul Islam. Again, couple of runs, easy runs. I also thought Khalid Ahmed bowled well. He's been taken off, but he was pretty impressive picking up a wicket. He bowled just 5 overs out of about 2 a maiden. So 1 for 10 for his first spell this morning. He picked up the other wicket yesterday. Only 2 wickets, and both of them to Khalid Ahmed.
Just to finish up on the conversation we were having a couple of overs ago on maybe why Bangladesh bowlers haven't quite got the ball to move around. It was the same for the Zimbabwean bowlers in the morning of day 1 yesterday. But it was only when Ngarava and Muzarabani in particular came back later and had understood that they just need to get that ball up in a good area in terms of length that they managed to get the ball to move around. I think the most consistent was the young bowler who got a couple of wickets as well, Nyamuri. And I think the extra pace that Nyamuri had also did cause a couple of problems for the batters. And that was the difference. Here he is. He's worked very hard on his game as well. So it'll be interesting to see if Ibadat, now who's been given a chance this morning, will be able to extract something from here.
And Murray was the one who changed the game on its head, because Bangladesh were well placed at 113 for 2 when he picked up the wicket of all-important wicket of Momin ul Haq, ending up picking a 4 for.
He has smashed that. Has Brian Bennett. Strong on the pull shot. Convincing stroke.
This is his first over. It's too short and too easy for him. And usually you'd see a short ball being pulled away towards the square leg area. That's gone on top of between mid-wicket and mid-on. He gets so much time. Not the right length. 171 for 2.
And that's how the partnership went for Bangladesh. And it was one of 30 between Shadman and Mominul, and then the captain and Mominul 77. But after that was broken just after the lunch break, and the Bangladesh batters capitulated.
Well, the seamers have done not a lot, but all eyes will be on Tajul Islam. He's been impressive. He's played that fine, and he should pick up a boundary, and he does.
That's well played. Particularly because he hasn't tried to go square. He's gone fine, so he gets the gap in the field and gets 4. And he's 3 away. Is Innocent Kaya.
You're wrong line. Just when you're thinking that he's tightening the screws, and he goes down the leg side and he releases a boundary. Now that's where he needs to bowl. Over and over again. Well, he's spoken about quite a lot about consistency. And if he can bowl in that area on a consistent basis, surely, sooner than later, I'll be able to pick up a wicket. The question is, can he bowl? Yeah, I would also like to see Shanto go a little bit proactive, because he's batting on 97 and the fielder is still that long off, and that's an easy single. With that single, he moves on to 98. No real pressure.
Good run. Good early call from Bennett, and well responded by his partner Kaya.
Straight away, the call was very quick indeed, because it was just to the right of Hassan Mahmood, fielding at mid-on. Back on strike.
Nice.
177 for 2. Curran looked good for his 42 yesterday. until he just fended one off into the cordon with the man who's been outstanding for Zimbabwe, Innocent Kaya. Couple away from a maiden test match 100.
No.
And how well deserved it will be. Brian Bennett, who was the opener prior to Kaya coming into the test side now, or coming back into the test side, should I say, moves to number 4. And I think that's a good call from the Zimbabwean change room. Allows him just to play with a little bit more freedom, and would hope that the ball's a little bit older when he walks out to bat. Should be able to squeeze a couple in here. They'll think about 3. There's an opportunity to do so. Good running from both of these batters. More importantly, it gets Innocent Kaya on strike. 98 not out. And an opportunity to record his first test match century. They've kept backward square on the offside boundary. That takes him to 99.
Now, what a great feeling would that be for Kaya. What about Brian Bennett? Remember the last time Zimbabwe toured in the test match against Bangladesh when they were over there, back-to-back 50s as an opener, and the result went in their favor. They went on to win that particular test match. There you go. He got sub strike, and Kaya is on 99.
Not out. Mushfiqur Rahim comes in from deep square to square leg to save the single. So does backward point on the boundary into a point position. Ibadat Hussain to Innocent Kaya, 99. What a beauty. The umpire says no ball on bat.
What a delivery. They think there was a bit of a bat. What matters the most is what the umpire thinks. That is a pitch. That is a beautiful delivery. The keeper, hasn't reacted straight away. He remains on 99.
Well, he couldn't have bowled a better delivery to a batter who's on 99, Ibadat Hussain. There you go. What a wonderful way to record your first test match 100. Against all the odds, through all the diversity in the last couple of seasons, Harare Sports Club take a bow. Innocent Kaya gets himself 100. 103 not out. And what an outstanding innings from a man who's got a great future in Zimbabwean cricket. 186 for 2. It's time for a drink.
Ceremony instantly taking over 60 countries with Sapang financial partner. Make your move to the Kuru activation goal, set up in minutes, and 4 Eastern Economy.
Zimbabwe going great guns. At the moment, they are 46 in lead. But more than that, it's Innocent Kaya on his maiden test match 100. What an innings it has been, and he's shown real talent. He's shown a lot of focus. Great with that new ball yesterday. Again, this testing first hour today. The new ball has shorter length to him. He's so strong with that pull shot. His eyes lit up. Well played, man. What an innings.
I've loved the way that he's just held it together for Zimbabwe as they got across the 140 that Bangladesh made in their first innings. Full bowlers used today, Mahmood was actually the one who caused problems early on. But it was Khaled who picked up his second wicket this morning. Zimbabwe lead by 46, built on that 103 not out by Innocent Kaya. Brian Bennett, new man in, looking good at 20 from just 24.
Just giving it a charge and a boundary. Neil surely would like to now call the shots. The good thing for Zimbabwe is that you got an attacking batter as his partner. Bennett will seek any opportunity to score and keep that pressure on from his side.
Takes a lead to 50 with that strike through extra cover. I think it's an awareness that there's a length that Tajul Islam, if he can land it consistently in that area, this area is going to cause problems.
You go back to that boundary from Bennett. Don't say that it's an aggressive approach. It's very calculated, coming down the track, covering the line of the ball. And use of feet against spin always works. Just met the ball early. Here you go. Just a little bit of extra flight, and that allowed him to just come out of his crease and play it along with the spin. Good shot. Good calculated risk, if you want to call it. We've seen that from last evening as well. He likes to play off the back foot, and he's done well for himself playing Tajul in that manner. It's just that sometimes the ball keeps a bit low. You want to be a little careful on that. But a test match 100. Darlington, that's something he'll remember for a long time. That's his maiden test match 100.
I can't remember a boring minute within that innings. He's kept us entertained throughout. Pull shots early on against the quicks when he first arrived at the crease. That crunching back foot drive square of the wicket through the offside. And solid defense. 191 for 2.
They're getting there in terms of run rate. They were very good, 4.5, 5 yesterday. They did slow down in the last half an hour or so, just trying to make sure they don't lose any wicket before the end of the day's play. Their overall run rate is also pretty much the same, 3.98. So it's just creeping up, back to 4 and maybe 4.5. With Bennett also now doing well. He's almost a run a ball, 25 of 26. You're coming back to Innocent Kaya's 100, and you talked about not a dull moment in that knock. It's so smart, you know, when it's least expected out of you. Nobody's expecting you got your best to 67 before this. And it's not like that you are that superstar player that the opposition is looking at to attack. Just go about within your zone, within your capability, your skill, backing yourself, and making sure that you spring a surprise in front of the opposition. And he did that with the way he was scoring runs at a very healthy rate.
Another partnership, another 50 partnership that Innocent Kaya is involved in, this time with Brian Bennett, who's 26 from 27 and has come off just 61 deliveries. Just after tea yesterday afternoon, he came in and he got into his business immediately. Pull shots, and my favorite area of scoring is square of the wicket on the leg side, and he's got shots all around the ground as Innocent Kaya, and that deft late cut and power down the ground as well, and that's the moment that brings up his first Test match 100. High scores was first Test match 100, 104 not out against Bangladesh. 67 was his previous best against the West Indies. Had a good series, just got a few starts and that not able to convert them. This time he manages to do just that.
I'm thinking, what can Shanto do different? You know that the wickets are very hard to get by, so maybe a couple of field positions, someone in the eye line of the batter, just to play around with their concentration levels. Also approaching the lunch break, so the batters do think they want to play the session out.
I've seen in domestic cricket how teams deal with Brian Bennett, always have catches at extra cover, hits in the air there occasionally, so I think that's a good call you've made there, Sikandar.
And that shot does tell you that he won't shy away. 195 for 2. I don't think there has been a session that has gone to Bangladesh. The first one, 76 for 2, you'd probably say shared a little bit. But then after that, Zimbabwe hasn't looked back.
But Delhi had wanted to use the moisture that's always available at Harare Sports Club early on. 9:30 start. Would have usually wanted to pick up maybe 2 or 3 wickets with that. Only managed the 1 so far.
Now that's what can happen to you when you go on that back foot against Taijul Islam. There will be a delivery or two that'll be keep touch low, and you might not find yourself covering the line properly.
It's been his preferred positioning, isn't it? This time he's allowed her to go past the outside edge.
Bangladesh have put themselves in a situation where they're testing their own players' ability. We spoke about how they've got their frontline bowlers, they've got their tail up, Taskeen, Nahid Rana. They've left them behind in this one-off test. They've given Khalid and Ibadat and others the opportunity here. And you can't say that they bowled badly or anything. It's just a very special knock from Kaia. And a very responsible small knocks coming in from Bennett, and then earlier from Taylor. And Karan, not to forget. Down the wicket and just past that fielder. 200 comes up for Zimbabwe with that shot. They batted 50 overs to get to 200 for 2. Exactly 4 runs and over with 200 runs on the board. And they batted for 50 overs. And did really well to almost get rid of that first innings lead yesterday itself.
Continue to take quick singles. And Bennett, I think just the boundary from the last delivery of that Taijul Islam over. Didn't find the middle of the bat. Again, he uses the feet. Just closed the face on contact. Must have had his heart in his mouth for a moment. But clears mid-on eventually.
I don't think Taijul would mind that. He would want him to go after him. That would create an opportunity. It did almost.
The partnership now is 58 from 73 deliveries. And Bennett got into his work immediately. Some glorious shots through the offside. Here as well. And off the back foot, very strong. 2 good pullers of a cricket ball. Kaya using the sweep to good effect. That brought up the 100 for Kaya, and Bennett's not been shy to use his feet against Taijul Islam.
Whoa.
Darlington, what's also been good is that the Zimbabwe support staff or their coaches have also allowed these batters to express themselves. There's not too much information coming from outside gloves or anything when they're approaching landmarks. Kaya getting to his 100 or Brian trying to attack the bowlers. They're just letting them be because they feel that it's best for Zimbabwe if we allow them to play to their strengths. You can easily get excited when you get in a good position. And then you start having opinions and you want to share them, but I think it's been very, very systematic. Just let the batting and then the ability of anyone coming out there take the team forward.
You're absolutely right. They've displayed trust in the players, the young players in particular. From Nyamuri, Bennett's young, just 21. And Innocent Kaya, older, but just in his 4th test match.
No run.
Next man in, Craig Irvin, the oldest player in the team. And he knows he's got a very important role to play later on, hopefully later on, as Zimbabwe need to get a good first innings lead. Tafadzwa Tsiga's got 500s in Logan Cup this season. He's in really, really good touch, yet to get a test match 50. And then Wesley Madevere at 7.
Yeah, the man in the deep cannot do anything about that. He'll go race past him for a boundary. That was timed brilliantly by Bennett. 205 for 2. It's all about partnerships no matter what format you're playing, and they've done very well. 89, 54, 62 and counting. Yeah, good call there. That just frustrates the fielding captain. Got so many men around the bat, you still end up conceding a single.
Such a good shot. Look how he stands up and gets over this delivery and absolutely crunches it away square of the wicket. It's the 3rd time we've seen him score in that area.
Yeah, there'll be more runs, at least a couple. You know, what's worrying for Shanto is the way the scoring is just increasing in terms of run rate. Now it's gone to 4.05. They started off at 3.5 on when the day began. So even when they got that wicket of Brendan Taylor, they've not been able to stem the run flow. You probably expect a new batter is coming in and you'll try and attack him more and feel that, let him consume a lot of deliveries. Slightly uppish, but Bennett hasn't allowed that.
It just looks like he's in very good form, very confident, very comfortable with his game at the moment. 39 from 42.
Number 3, TJ.
It's been really harsh on Tajul Islam in particular. This time in the air, but it's safely into a gap.
Tajul bhai.
They put on 75 runs today, Zimbabwe. And they've lost 1 wicket in the process.
Save it.
And end of another over. 211 for 2.
$211 for 2 is a strong position. Zimbabwe lead by 71.
Don't think that Zimbabwe is actually discussing how many would be enough. Got 8 wickets in hand and plenty of time in this test match, and you probably look to bat the opposition out. And they can afford to think in that fashion because of the number of wickets they've got available and 2 set batters. So don't think that they are having a target or a total somewhere. Yeah, had it been a day ahead into day 3, then probably they'll start thinking that they need to allow their bowlers enough time also to get the opposition.
Yeah, probably just thinking of batting through today with no real targets in mind. Might just have an idea of thinking maybe they want to be pushing it at around 3.5, maybe 4 runs and over, maybe even more. But I don't think that really have a number in mind to say we want to be at, say, 450 to the end of the second session of play.
The only thing that they will keep in mind is to have enough runs in this first innings of theirs, because they need to bat last.
Yeah, just probably going down the leg side from Ebadot Hussein this time. But I think you're right, they wouldn't want to have to chase a really big score at all in that fourth innings. You want to make all your runs in this first innings.
Yeah, he's so good with that. He loves playing that shot. Maybe it's gone a lot finer than he would have liked, but he's got himself a boundary there.
He really waits for it, lets it come on to him. And it's almost gone past and behind him before he actually makes contact with it. And so turns it into a very, very safe option. Every time you're just outside the line of the off stump.
Right enough.
10.5 overs for 67. In helpful conditions. Ebadot Hussein has been a little expensive here. Bari Sports Club. Great delivery to finish. 2-1-6 for 2.
How important it is to get a good first innings total to be in the game, and that exactly what Zimbabwe is trying to do here. Also to capitalize on this occasion that they've got the opposition out for just 140. When you listen to different successful batters around the world in this format, and most of them in different words say that their formula has been that they allow themselves time to get their eye in and settle themselves and bat session after session. But the most important thing, that one kept low. If the bowling unit is bowling very well, just take your time, and once they have tired legs, then you start scoring against them. And you mentioned about it being a little expensive. That's what happens because Shanto cannot continuously bowl Khalid or Hassan. So that's what the batter is thinking. He's going to bowl a spell of what, 5 overs, 6 overs, and then I'm going to come back and score runs.
It's gone into out through extra cover. I think he's going to get another boundary here. Ryan Bennett has used the turn away here. It's been tossed up, but he clears the front foot and hits with the spin.
Yeah, he did toss it up and then ended up bowling it a lot fuller. And Brian wouldn't miss that opportunity. Good thing is he's played that along the ground. That run rate while we're sitting here is now gone to 4.1. So it just keeps increasing. They're shifting gears now. You've got exactly half an hour to lunch on day 2. 220 for 2.
Yeah, that is the session that Zimbabwe were hoping for. To just lose the 1 wicket, keep up with the run rate at over 4 runs to the over, and accumulate 84 runs. And with that in mind, you have a player that is on 113 in Kahia, and then you have Bennett looking very dangerous and ominous. An appeal, and it's stifled. Atta will have 28 minutes to go until lunch, but just give me a brief synopsis on how you think this has gone for Bangladesh in this first hour and a half.
Well, it's gone towards Zimbabwe. No questions about that. It's turning out to be a very good batting day. And I did ask you earlier on off air that is this the trend when you see a test match being played at this venue? Again, on the shorter side. And the running has been very good, very aggressive running. They've been very good. And you did mention that day 2 and day 3 are the best day for batting. And we can already see that this session, 86 runs, just the wicket, which means they're going at a run of just over 4 runs and an over. Excellent. I know the conditions are good for batting. I know the two well-set batters now. Just in terms of what the opposition, the Bangladesh think tanks and the camp and the skipper, the players are thinking at this moment. It's not about taking wickets, it's also about making sure that they don't score quickly, but they are. Which suggests that they haven't bowled in the areas where they should have bowled. I had a little bit of chat while going across doing my pitch report. I came across the interim bowling coach, Tala Zubair. And the message that I said, okay, what's the chat? What kind of chat have you been having with your bowlers? Because yesterday was quite disappointing. So the message that he said to me was, I only said one thing, and said, just target a good area, somewhere around the off-stump line, on the consistent basis. Because once they bowl on a good area, and all of a sudden you see them drifting down the leg side, that has been an issue. You'll be disappointed, but still a long way to go. You know, the beauty of Test match cricket, that it can turn the match on its head straight away by suppose, let's say what happened yesterday when you saw Bangladesh well placed at 113 for 2, and then 8 wickets fell. So they are well placed right now at 225 for 2, Zimbabwe. But can they manage to break this partnership first and foremost? As would be that prime objective at this stage.
My next question would be, who would break that partnership? I think Khaled's probably in the pick of the bowlers, but there's only so much he can do in a spell before he can recover and come back for another spell. And this ball now coming up to 55 overs old, so which means it's probably got a little bit softer. That seam is not as hard and pronounced. And so the difficulties of trying to get it to react off the surface in itself. It's a gorgeous day, and so even the sun beating down on this surface is just making it even better and better for batting. And there he is, Khaled. When will he be given another opportunity? He's picked up 2 for 43 in his 13 overs. Thick outside edge. Also run away for 4. End of the over, 230 for 2. Yeah, what a test match it has been for this young man. His best before this was 67, and now he's 122 unbeaten. It's only his 3rd test match, and he has done so well. But will just want to kick on. I am truly, truly happy for him.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful player. This last ball of the previous over. Not a bad delivery. Back live. Yeah, disappointed to see how Hassan Mahmood also has gone in this test match. One would have expected with that very little experience, not too many matches in that county championship, playing for Kent, picking up 13 wickets in 2 matches. One would have thought that in these conditions he can be quite handful, but that has not been the case. I think the other bowler which has been impressive is the one on the screen, Tajul Islam. Where's the team management? Ashraful, pretty animated. It's just been a day where Bangladesh think tanks and the skipper will be looking to see some positives. It's all about Zimbabwe here. They've made a great impact by bowling out Bangladesh cheaply first. And then this reply with Kaya playing a fantastic knock, still unbeaten. He's gone past his best score. He's picked up his first test match 100 and he keeps on going. What about Brian Bennett? 46 of just 52. The runs have come quickly. That has been an issue.
And there's still a lot of batting still to come. But I like what you said in the previous over. Someone needs to spark something here for Bangladesh, as Richard Ngarawa did in the first innings for Bangladesh by removing Mushfiqur Rahim. So I sort of look around and I think, who could that be? And I mentioned Khalid, but someone else has got to pull off something special to create a mini collapse and stay within control of the test match, because the longer this goes on at the end of the over, it's 232 for 2. That run rate is very healthy. It's been in and around there for the majority of this innings thus far. It's 56 overs. So they've scored quickly and with control. Hassan Mahmood to continue from the golf course end. He's got a lovely action and a lovely wrist as well. Very economical. And I am also very surprised because he's got that X factor. There's Hassan Mahmood, but hasn't quite got the ball to react or cause enough issues for the batters. Cricketing gods, after saying that, he would probably pick up a wicket now. Yeah, nice looking shot. It's firm, work to do here for Momino. And I think he'll just rein it in. And he'll pick up 3. Yeah, I just want to have a look at his action. And talk about beautiful tram lines. You can just see the cadence. I'll come back to cadence in a short while. Good control. And you see where he starts getting to the business end here. Everything is in a beautiful line, beautiful mechanics, beautiful release. But one of his real strengths, and this is where he generates a lot of pace, when you look at that action, it looks so rhythmical, it looks so balanced, it looks lovely. But the main part to look at, just have a look at his wrist here, Atta. And this is a real part of where he gets that late movement, but also that extra bit of pace. Look at how it cocks right there. And then just look at him flick it through at the last moment. It is beautiful. Because once you have the action and then you have the release with that beautiful wrist that then flicks and gets the ball to oscillate in reverse, then gets the extra bit of pace. And whoever's watching this, just focus on his bowling hand and the wrist, and just there. And look at how it flicks through. It is stunning. It reminds me a lot of what the West Indian bowlers used to do. Yeah, uppish for a moment. I do feel maybe he loses a little bit of pace over his front leg. It just looks as if he collapses and then he loses the cadence. When I talk about cadence, it's how the foot touches the ground with as little resistance as possible. And for a bowling cadence, it's when he gets into the bowling stride so that he's not static. But when you lose your cadence, it's when your bowling stride is too big, and so that you then have to pull your trailing hip to try and create and recover the momentum that you've built through your bowling action. So I think that is the area perhaps he can improve on, but it's still a lovely action, and this is a beautiful shot. And this will be Brian Bennett's third 50 in Test cricket. Fantastic by Brian Bennett, good vein of form, ends the over, 241 for 2.
What a lovely drive to pick up another 50 from Brian Bennett. His third 50. This is his third 50. And all three against the same opposition, Bangladesh. The lead now 101. It gets bigger and bigger. Problems for Bangladesh. Partnership closing in on 100 as well. 98. Brian Bennett has been brilliant with the bat. Look at that strike rate, nearly 100 on a surface where batters have struggled. Oh, lovely delivery, beautifully bowled from Taijul Islam. Once in a while it produces the magic delivery, but he has been just a touch unlucky not to pick up a wicket.
Yeah, now and again he gets one to do this. But the surprising thing is when it reacts in that fashion. Oh, that's pretty close. Or is it sliding? That one now goes on with the arm. It doesn't take the turn. And that's where Taijul becomes dangerous.
Well, he's asking question in this over. Is this the over? Is this the over where Bangladesh can creep into the game and pick up a wicket by breaking this partnership? Slightly on the shorter side. That's the 50. What a top-looking shot. He just walks into it. According to him, this is a flat surface. I can walk against someone like Hassan Mahmood. Full face of the bat, and it just played it beautifully in the end. Down the ground for the boundary to pick up his third 50. And it's also his quickest 50 so far, Brian Bennett.
It's a maiden. It's 241 for 2. From a partnership perspective, Zimbabwe will be pretty happy with this graphic. 89 to start, 54, probably wanted that one to kick on, but on how Khalid bowled, he was very, very good to create that breakthrough. And then Bennett and Kaya have continued the excellent work, and they are 2 away from a century stand. Well, the skipper has no options now but to turn to his strike bowler and the most successful bowler in Khalid. He'll replace Hassan Mahmood from the golf course end. Could be met with a boundary, yeah, short and wide, and that'll bring up a 100-run partnership.
That has been a big issue for Bangladesh, isn't it? A new bowler comes in, it's a loosener, it's a wide delivery, and he gets punished. Another boundary. Not a great way to start. He's been the pick of the bowler, even today. Yeah, with that boundary, 100 partnership for this pair. 102 of 120. Yeah, very good from both Bennett and Kaya. And they'll be thinking of taking this longer and even more in terms of runs. Now he goes down the leg side.
Yeah, new position for him, number 4. And he's come in and he's played in this fashion. Loves it through the offside backward of square. Also pretty good with the pull shot against the spinners. The use of the feet. Dancing. Cutting. Driving. And getting 50. It does look flat, doesn't it?
Well, what we've seen so far on day 2, I'm with you on that. I know you've got a big smile on your face, Ed.
Impartial.
I can understand, but take nothing away from. Initially, it was Kaya, but Brian Bennett looking very, very good. Yeah, you hardly seen him, or rather a bowler, going past the bat. Maybe once or twice, but he's look rock solid. And the moment he gets an opportunity to free his arms, he has hardly disappointed, hasn't he? 9 boundaries in his innings so far, 58 of 58. 15 boundaries for Kaya. Turning out to be a fantastic partnership. Ensuring that surely at one stage they'll be thinking to bat only once on the surface, if there is a possibility.
Yeah, well, you know what? Tino did ask us what sort of number would they be looking at. I said 50. I think, wow, that's not it. You don't need more than that.
You got 4 more runs to add to that. And then once in a while you'll have a batter who's well set to swing and a miss. Yeah, because when you do realize it's only day 2, Ed. Day 2, and your Bangladesh is way behind. Zimbabwe leading by 106 runs. You got 8 wickets in hand. Lunch in another 6-7 minutes. So you've got so much time left in this test match. Day 2, all they would be thinking is bat as long as possible. Forget about the numbers. They want to pile up a really big lead and apply more pressure.
Yeah, another good looking shot. Full face to the bat, but nicely fielded. 246 for 2.
তাইজুল ভাই পাঁচটা খাইয়ে দেই
246 for 2 hours. Zimbabwe, they lead by 106 runs. And they're 6 minutes away from a break. Lunch is not too far away. So for the batters, they want to get there unscathed. For Bangladesh, can they take one with them? Or can the break come at a timely time where they can sit in the change room and come up with a different plan? It's possibly changed, I think, and it crossed my mind back to this morning. I think Zimbabwe used the big roller. I think Zimbabwe used the big roller for the maximum amount of time, so maybe that has compacted things and made it quite quiet. And so maybe as the day progresses, that uneven nature will come in later. Because we did see, nicely fielded, we did see yesterday a lot more happened in the second session than in the first session.
Made it all happen in the second session. 8 wickets. Day one. He looks a free-flowing batter, Brian Bennett. That was well bowled. Busy, very busy cricketer, isn't he? Where is he?
Having lunch. He's taking his glasses off as well. He wants to see all the food, doesn't he? End of the over. 248 for 2. Beautiful, stunning winter's day. If you're somewhere in the world, you look at that picture, you think, gosh, what's Ed talking about? But we're firmly in winter here in Zimbabwe. South Africa is also experiencing this type of weather. They get a little bit colder than us. Is that an edge? Umpire, shake of the head. He says it's a tie.
Okay.
Interesting.
Brushing of top of the pads. There was a sound certainly which prompted the keeper and the slip scorer to go up in an appeal. So did the bowler. Not too many times we've seen the bowler, especially on day 2, beat the bat. On that occasion, Khalid Ahmed didn't manage to do that.